What's going on, Team Prime? I'm back with another video. I just got back from Bumblebee. That was the best Transformers movie ever. Like, legit. Best Transformers movie ever. And if I'm going to go full on into spoiler territory, so if you don't want to know a thing, you haven't seen the movie, don't watch this video. Stop watching right here and don't watch. If you do not want to be spoiled, because I am going to spoil the crap out of this movie. But, oh my god, that movie was awesome. Like, it was a really good movie. This movie fixes a lot of problems we've had with Transformers movies since Age of Extinction. And it does a lot of right. Not too many wrongs. A lot of right. So the movie, I'm going into full-on coverage. The movie starts out just the way you'd expect. On Cybertron, during the heat of battle. And the first bot we see, well, we get a first close-up look on the ground of Cybertron. Hovering over the ground. Hovering over the battlefield. You can see buildings, structures all over the place. And then we get right into it with the fight. And we first see Ratchet in his G1 form. And then Ironhide, RC, Wheeljack, Hound. And then out of nowhere, Optimus Prime jumps in, blasting Decepticons all over the place. And then he asks, where is B-127, which is Bumblebee's name before he becomes Bumblebee. Comes in, guns a-blazing, cracking the joke, like, sorry, I'm late, traffic. And then the Decepticons show, and we got the Seeker, Soundwave, Shockwave. Both of those guys voiced by legendary Transformers fanatic and big Transformers personnel, John Bailey. They attack. Prime is telling all Autobots remaining to get in the pods and get off Cybertron. Prime tells B specifically to go to Earth. Find resources there and get them a base going on Earth. So that way they can hide. So B does that and he gets shipped off to Earth. And then Prime is left fighting a crazy amount of Decepticons. You've got Shockwave and Soundwave, Starscream, and all of the Seekers. And they are going very G1. Because in the original cartoon, like the Viacons in Transformers Prime, or the, like the Viacons in Transformers Prime, the Seekers are just drones. Starscream and the main Seekers are probably in there somewhere, but the rest of them are just drones. And there were a lot of drones. They were all closing in on Optimus while B was looking off like, oh man, I want to help, but I can't. So then we go to Earth, where we're introduced to Charlie. And it's her 18th birthday. And, her life isn't that good for the time being. She's dealing with the loss of her dad. And having to also deal with, the mom having a new boyfriend and her having a new stepdad. I don't like the stepdad in a good way. It's the step-parent cliche 101 that most 80s and 90s movies did. The step-parent comes in and one of the kids absolutely hates their guts. Charlie wants to get out of San Francisco badly. Like, she wants to get her car fixed. She wants to leave. And her mom and her stepdad both give her presents. And she don't like either one of them. Her mom gives her a big pink girly bike helmet. And Charlie's a tomboy. Pink girly bike helmet on a tomboy. So, and she's trying to fix up her dad's car. So that way she can kind of get over his passing. She wants to get it done so that way, well, one, she has a car, and two, I forget what she said exactly in the movie, but so she can feel closer to him by having his car done and complete and fixed. And then we see her go to work, which apparently she works at a carnival as the she works at the grill or at the fryer making not corn dogs, hot dogs on a stick. And don't quote me on it's corn dogs. I know it's a corn dog, but literally the place was called Hot Dog on a Stick. And Charlie used to be a actually I'll bring that up later. That don't come up yet. And then she bumps into the cool group of kids because it's the 80s. You gotta have the popular crowd and then the it crowd, us. And this dude who works at another concession stand. I forget his name in the movie, but he's got an afro and he has a thing for Charlie. And he's a geek, a big geek. He talks his way into wanting to ask her out, but she keeps like. He was going to ask her out, and she's already in a mood like, yeah, no, I'm not talking to you. She accidentally spills a tray of drinks on a dude, who then takes his shirt off, and then she gets made fun of by the dude's girlfriend and her friends. I hate high school girls in movies. That kind of bully, the mean girl chicks. I hate mean girl chicks in movies. Because you just want to smack them right in their faces. But they get their just desserts later. So we back up with Bumblebee in the forest. We're introduced to Agent Burns, John Cena's character. And him and his group are doing a training routine with paintball guns. That scene was funny. One of his friends was hanging upside down in a tree because, like I said, it was a training session. So they got killed with the paintball guns. And the dude in the tree is like, come on, man, I got a date. Let's go. I was like, and he keeps shooting like, oops, faulty trigger, oops. Like that. That was funny. He's like, darn gun, we have to take this in and have it looked at as he continuously shoots him with paint pellets. Oh, that was funny. And then they see B land. And he lands right onto them. It's like, and everybody gets blown back. The minute they see him, it's guns blazing. Like, John Cena's character was like, why did we just get nuked by one of our own things? And they said nobody did anything. He's like, okay then. And then they see Bumblebee and it's like guns blazing. They're trying to shoot at him like nobody's business. And then he tells them to stop when he starts talking. And like I said earlier, B talks for a little bit. He's like, stop. I don't want to hurt you. I'm not here to hurt anybody. And then they all look up that way in the sky and they see a jet coming. He's like, Burns is like, who called in air support? And Bumblebee was like, that's not air support. And then a missile comes out with a Decepticon insignia on it. Blitzwing likes to imprint on his missiles. That's interesting. He fires at them and then he comes transforming in like he does in the commercials and all that. And he's all up on Bumblebee. And he's dragging Bumblebee up the cliff, fighting him. B gets some good hits in on him. And then the infamous B loses his voice scene happens. Blitzwing's trying to figure out where the rest of the Autobots are so that way they can kill them before they even hit Earth. B's like, I won't talk. And Blitzwing is like, you're not now. Well, how about we make it permanent? And then his arm transforms into this little thing and it has a blade come out. And he stabs B right here in the throat and rips his voice modulator, his voice box out. Blade just right there in the throat and rips it out. And then he just chucks B off the thing, off the mountain. B had a little bit of fight left in him, and he picked him up again. Because he was talking, he said, B-127, you were a traitor, or you joined the Autobot cause, and you are a traitor to all of Cybertron. So B took one of his missiles out of his arms, plucked it in his chest, and popped his armor blaster out and shot him and killed Blitzwing. But that was cool. And then B's memory systems crashed and out like a light. But before he could, I forgot to bring this up. When he was being chased by Sector 7, for a little bit he scanned a Jeep to get away, and then he scanned a Volkswagen Bug before he crashed completely. And then no, that happened, I think, before we met Charlie. Yeah, before we met Charlie. Okay, so I have things out of order. Switch Charlie's story all around with B's second part. Okay, now she's at her house dealing with her mom and all that. She goes to her uncle's garage to get parts so she can fix the car. She sees B, and she finally had enough of trying to fix the car. So she goes back to her uncle's workshop, and she wants B. She told him she'll do whatever she needs to do to get that car, including saying something of the lines of cleaning your nasty, disgusting toilets. He said, you can have the car. It's your birthday gift. And my toilets are beautiful. Now, I remember that line. So she takes B home. And she's messing with it. B's arm thing drops like it does in the trailer. Transforms. Her mom hears the ruckus coming out of the garage. She goes to check. And she's so worried about her seeing B in robot mode. Lo and behold, he's back there in alt mode. And Charlie's like, wait, what the? Am I seeing things? Her mom freaking out that she got a car without telling her. Which, I want to get to that in a minute. But her mom doesn't notice B in robot mode because he turned back into a car. She left. B turns back into robot mode and hides in the corner like he does in the trailer spots and all that. And B can't talk. And he's trying to explain things to her. That he can't talk at all. And he has no memory of anything. Because his memory system crashed. So throughout the movie, Bumblebee doesn't know who or what he is. He doesn't know how to fight. He doesn't know he's an Autobot. And then, what happens after that? I'm trying to remember. We just spent a lot of time with him in the garage for a while. Oh, right. The next morning, she wakes up and B's gone. B is not in the garage because her mom took Bumblebee and her dog to the vet. And Charlie flipped the flip out because she's catching up with B in the car, on her bike. And B's back end is just transformed with his arm poking out, doing crap, messing with the dog. And Charlie's like, Bumblebee, stop it! So she scares the crap out of her mom while driving. And almost blurts out about Bumblebee, but quickly changes it to the dog. And Charlie's driving then. And then Shatter and Dropkick come. Or this is when, after Charlie got Bumblebee on for the first time in the garage, it set a signal all the way out into space. Cliffjumper was being interrogated by Shatter and Dropkick. And Cliffjumper was the Autobot. what did they say he was? I don't remember. He was being interrogated, trying to find out where the rest of the Autobots are so they can get them gone. Cliffjumper would not talk, and then Shatter and Dropkick picked up B's signal after Charlie turned the car on. Dropkick is like, you got that? He's like, already did. So they dealt with Cliffjumper, just shoot, Cliffjumper falls in half like he did in Transformers Prime. At least Cliffjumper Prime got from the waist. Cliffjumper got sliced in half from head to waist. Then they go to Earth to find him. Once they get there, this was funny. They were landing near a trailer park in San Francisco. And this dude who just bought a car with him and his wife's bank loan money for their house, he went and bought the Plymouth GTX that Shatter turns into. Well, they crash land, destroy their trailer and the car before Shatter scanned it. Like, they scanned vehicles as they were coming down. He turns into the car, or they both turn into their cars. The dude thought Shatter turned into his car as they transformed. Oh, that was another thing about the couple. The wife was mad about him sleeping with her sister, and the dude was like, unsuccessfully, something of that matter. But it was funny. So they come in, transform into their robot modes, and Dropkick just takes his gun, kills the dude, and he explodes into a pile of goop. Literally a pile of goop. Not blood goop, but just clear green goop. So they're off looking for Bumblebee and the Autobots, and then we go back to Charlie. What was she doing after that? I don't remember. Right. Her and B, and then she was doing something. Right, she was out in the forest with Bumblebee. Or no, that was before. I have things out of order. She went to the forest with him because they were just walking out there. Trying to fix. B was pointing something out to her about his chest. She popped that piece off. She was trying to fix it, and the hologram of Optimus comes up, and B starts to remember a little bit. But Optimus in this movie looks so cool. So they get that fixed. And then the military show up trying to... Or no, not yet. The military meet up with Shatter and Dropkick while they're in their alt modes. As the military is going by, they also scan the helicopter and the jet mode into their inventory, telling the military that they need to find Bumblebee before the war starts on Earth. As Shatter's talking to them, Dropkick was like, what are you doing? It's like, oh, this is so embarrassing. They were acting like the good guys, when in fact B was the good guy. And they were able to convince the military to give them access to their satellites so they could track B down. Which was a bad idea, because after that they were going to message the Autobots to come to Earth after they found out about... actually, I'll get to that later. But, what's his name comes along, Charlie lets him get in... Or no. Then she's fixing his radio in the garage. The dude who has a thing for her just walks into her garage, sees him, B freaks out and jumps into his car mode. And she's trying to get him to shut up and to not be loud about Bumblebee. So then they go driving. It's the following day. She goes back to work. Or no, she's at the fairgrounds, I think. And she's with the they're looking at the upper hill where a bunch of cool kids are hanging out. They're getting ready to do some diving. And then the cool guy that she dumped a drink on at the beginning recognized her as she used to be a diver before her dad died. After her dad died, she stopped diving. He was trying to pressure her into doing it, and there was a funny scene where Bee played the touch to try to get her to go, but she wouldn't do it. And then the cool girls came over, being as snotty as 80s and 90s girls are in those movies, insulted Bee and told her that maybe her dad could buy her a new car. I was like, oh, I forgot. And then she freaked out, driving off later that night. And Bee's learning how to talk through radios, slowly getting it. Like, the dude says a few things, and Bee's able to radio that back. But anyway, they go to that girl's house. They try to TP it. They try to egg it. Bee kind of ruined the toilet paper thing. He squished a little roll of toilet paper with 2 fingers. And then Charlie threw one into a tree. And then Bee just chucked the whole bag at the house and missed. Then the dude threw an egg at the girl's car, which says "I wish" on the license plate. So Bee just takes the 2 cartons, smashes it together, and then rubs it all over the car. And then just proceeds to jump on it. Because he saw how they were reacting, so he just did that while he was jumping on her car. Like, he literally just jumped all over it, crushed it. And then they got out of there as fast as they could, with the daughter coming, or the girl coming out, seeing her car, and then yelling for her mom. And then they're bolting down the highway, which ensued the police chase, which we all thought was barricade. Unfortunately, it wasn't. And then we see the Decepticons using the satellite system in the Sector 7 base. Oh! Simmons! Simmons is in this movie! At the beginning, when we first saw Sector 7 inside their base, this dude rushed into the head general and let him know about the 2 Decepticons. That's Simmons. That is Seymour Simmons. Which is awesome! So Simmons does have a slight cameo in the movie. Anyway, John Cena Agent Burns does not like them using the system. He even briefed it to the general that they're called Decepticons. You don't see the red flags there? Like, that was funny. After that, Charlie left Bee in the garage to make sure he doesn't get seen by the public, because after the previous night being chased by the cop. So he stays there in vehicle mode under a sheet with the dog eating a Pop-Tart, watching a movie. The dog gets up, wanting to do something. So he sees the dog go into the house, which makes his battle mask activate. And he's like, whoa, what is this thing? And he's trying to see how the dog got in, which led to a whole bunch of weird stuff. So he breaks the door that the dog went through, proceeds to go through the house, and breaks literally everything he touches. Where did he break first? The door, and then a wall piece. He was messing with a lot of stuff, broke something, and then he was looking at the outlet of the coffee maker. His finger turned into like a prong. He put it in the outlet, and it electrocuted him, and like there was green electricity on him, which sent a signal over to Sector 7, and to let Shatter and Dropkick know, B was there. In the meantime, the dude who has a thing for Charlie saw B and heard the noise, called Charlie from work, telling her to get to the house. B's doing something. And she sees how much destruction he did in the house. She yelled at him. He jumped into alt mode in the house. And then she told him to go back into the garage. And this is funny. The dude was telling it B not to transform so much. So he literally just transformed his upper body. And his legs were just wheels. Like the whole back set or his legs were just the back end of his car. He was literally driving with the top half of his robot visible. Then her mom, her brother, and her stepdad come home, see the destruction in the house. Her mom ain't too happy. And then Charlie tries to leave, telling her mom about the car, and her mom ain't happy. That she's spending all her time with the car in this grumpy, gothic attitude. And then Charlie, tells her mom, maybe you moved on and learned to adjust, but she hasn't yet. And she storms off with B and just goes. And her and the dude are in the car driving. Next thing you know, military is all around them. Like, Sector 7 found them, tells them both to get out of the car. That's when they tried to grab Charlie, B transformed, and he was like, yeah, no. Like, he literally chucked the dude, took Charlie, and ran. Like, they were all over the place with him. And then they caught up to him. And they used electric prongs on him. Like, they shocked him up all over the place. Charlie tried touching him, not realizing that he was metal, got herself electrocuted, and knocked out. She wakes up back in her bedroom with Agent Burns talking to her mom and her stepdad about this. She tries to tell them that she didn't steal government property. So she breaks out, goes to get Bumblebee, while telling her brother, because her brother was fixing to snitch, that she needs his help. And during this process, Shatter and Dropkick are in the middle of interrogating Bumblebee, trying to find out where Optimus is. And B ain't talking. Dropkick's wondering, why isn't he fighting back? Because they know B is notorious for fighting back. And then Shatter realizes his memory processor is kaput. So they literally just beat the crap out of him. While in the process, while they were hitting him and got him on the ground, they managed to knock B out. And the hologram of Optimus came up. And it was the message that B got earlier, but we actually get to hear it in full. And a better look at Optimus Complete. Of repeating what Optimus already told B earlier at the beginning of the movie. And that's when Shatter and Dropkick realize Prime and the other Autobots are coming to Earth. Like, all the Autobots are coming to Earth. So they're trying to get to that satellite tower so they can let the Decepticons know. That way they can get here quicker and kill all the Autobots before any of them have time to land. And after they were done with Bumblebee, Dropkick shoots him, and he goes off. Like, he's not dead, but he goes off. Charlie finally gets to him, and he's not turning back on, so she tries shooting him with the electric gun that the Sector 7 guys have, eventually getting him back on. But they show up again. They have to fight him off, and B's finally had enough. But the guns restarted his memory processor. Like, it restarted his memory thing, and he remembers exactly what was going on. He finally just put his hand on the ground, got up, and his eyes turned red. Arm blaster out, blade cutting those connections, and shooting everything around him. It even looked like he was about ready to shoot her, but she calmed him down, and everything was fine. Anyway, back to Shadow Dropkick. I forgot. After they got B down and they said what their plans are to Agent Powell, he had his his comm on for Agent Burns to kind of hear it, and Powell was trying to tell Burns that Shadow and Dropkick are the enemies. And Dropkick did what he did to the dude earlier in the movie and gooped him. Just killed him flat out, and he became a pile of nothing but goo. So Burns, still thinking that it's Bumblebee, tries to get him. And Charlie, when she was restrained by him, she elbowed him in the gut really good. Get ready to throw her down to the ground. B had enough. And he just started fighting back. When she got him back, B was back at full memory. Like, everything was back to normal. He knew what he had to do. He grabbed Charlie. They left. He put her in a recycling bin and told her what Optimus told him. That if the Decepticons take Earth, the rest of the Autobots are done for. So she keeps him there, or he keeps her there. He goes off to finish Shadow and Dropkick, which leads into the really nice fight between B and Dropkick. In the meantime, Charlie is trying to take out something that Dropkick put in the satellite transmitting to the other Decepticons. While that's ensuing, B and Dropkick go at each other hard. Dropkick crashes from his... he does this really cool thing where he goes to his car mode and then jumps into his helicopter mode. B gets him down. He crashes back into his... or he crashes and his propellers get wrapped up in chains while he's transferring back into his bot mode. And then he was telling B, you think these puny chains can stop me? B just shoink and kabloom. He's good. He's dead. Flat out. Like, Dropkick is dead. In the meantime, Charlie got that piece out of the satellite, but Shatter saw she was messing with it, so started shooting at her. B shot her down from jet mode, and then they started their fight, and Shatter can fight. Holy crap, she got some good hits on Bumblebee. She was kneeing him constantly. Kneed him in the head, kneed him in the back. She even had him pinned down on the ground, bashing his face in. Until B shot the Hoover Dam. Or the dam behind her. Shatter's like, you missed. And then B pointed like, she's like, ah, crap. And a piece of the wall came down. He held her there, getting ready to make sure it hit her. Which it did. We don't know if she's dead, but I'm pretty sure she's dead. B got out of the way and was sitting at the bottom of the water. Charlie finally wanted to make sure he was all right, so she dived in to see him. And he was fine. So they got out. Shatter, Dropkick are dead. B saved Agent Burns from crashing, which gave him a different viewing of Bumblebee as the good guy, not the bad guy. So, all said and done. And then we're at the San Francisco Bridge, which is the final scene of the movie. Kinda. We're at the San Francisco Bridge. Charlie and Bumblebee are saying their goodbyes to one another, which was actually really kind of sad to see him go. They were saying their goodbyes. He finally got a hold of speaking through the radio. He said, "Thank you for teaching me how to speak again." And then she said, "Thank you for letting me be me again." So he scans a Camaro all the way on the Golden Gate Bridge. And it's the Camaro that he was in the first movie before scanning the concept Camaro. She's surprised that he could scan alt modes and become the Camaro. And he leaves. Rolling up on the bridge is a semi-truck that looks just like Optimus Prime. Lo and behold, that's Optimus. Rolled up in G1 truck and trailer. And yes, the upcoming studio series number 38, Bumblebee Optimus, is that Optimus. His display base is going to be the San Francisco Bridge. We cut back to Charlie going home, being with her family. And then the final scene is her finally getting her dad's car fixed and driving it. That's the end of the movie. And then we get a mid-credit scene with Optimus and Bumblebee. Prime congratulating Bee on getting rid of the Decepticons on Earth and ensuring that the Autobot race continues. And Prime also still calls Bee B-127. And that's when Bumblebee told him, "My name's Bumblebee." And then Bee looks up. We've got 7 comets coming in, which confirms more Autobots. And that was Bumblebee. That was a great movie. Like, that was one of the best Transformers movies we've had in recent years. It was just that amazing. And then Haley Steinfeld's song, "Back to Life," started playing throughout the credits. And it was just a good movie. I give this, if I had to rank all 6 of the Transformer movies, in my opinion, Bumblebee, Age of Extinction, Bumblebee, the 2007 movie, Age of Extinction, Dark of the Moon, The Last Night, Revenge of the Fallen. That's how I would rank all 6 movies. Bumblebee and the first movie being 2 of the best movies ever. Just, there was so much right done with these movies. The main thing that confuses me is Travis Knight said in an interview that this is part of the Michael Bay movies. I don't really see how. You retconned a little bit of the timeline. Because Prime's not supposed to be on Earth until 2007. And we were going to have a scene with Megatron during the beginning of the movie. But in canon of the movies, Megatron is on Earth right now, frozen, being discovered at some point by Sam Witwicky's grandfather. Or, I don't know. He's on Earth right now under ice. So, okay. If this is a new version of the timeline, maybe, if this is a retcon of the timeline, Optimus's robot mode in the movie, this new movie, compared to the other 5 movies, is that one. If it's if it's a soft reboot, imagine that design of Optimus and Bee throughout movies 1 to 5. When Optimus is the Peterbilt, when he's the Marmon 97, when he's the Western Star Truck. Because when he turned into the Camaro, he didn't look exactly like the Camaro. That's my brother. But Bumblebee was amazing. I give this movie 10 out of 10. Travis Knight, Haley Steinfeld, John Cena, you guys did amazing with this movie. Travis, if you by chance happen to see this, which I doubt you will, please make another movie. Please. Do an Optimus origin movie or something like that. Do another Transformers movie. Just, this movie was flat out the best. Anyway, that is my thoughts on this movie. Let me know what you guys think about the movie in the comment section below if you've seen it already. I'm going to stop talking. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you all later.